Today I was talking with someone who said in passing that sitting and meditating when your mind is a mess and all over the place is a waste of time. And of course that's not true. At the very least, it gives you an opportunity to look at what a messed up mind is like. And maybe with enough time you'll get tired of it and want to do something about it. I've often found that one way of jump-starting your practice is to make up your mind you're going to sit for a certain amount of time every day and really stick with it. And you may find in the beginning that your meditation is miserable and you don't like it. But if you stick with that set amount of time every day, there comes a point where you have to say, look, as long as I'm sitting here, I might as well do this right. Because sometimes you have to corner the mind that way. Before it begins to shape up. Another consideration, of course, is that we're sitting here with your eyes closed. You're not doing anything harmful to anybody. You're not engaging in wrong speech. You're not engaging in wrong action or wrong livelihood. And that's not a small thing. So at the very least, you're keeping yourself from causing harm. The teachings on right action, I very rarely mention them in the talks here, because while you're sitting here, nobody is killing anybody, nobody's stealing, nobody's engaging in illicit sex, unless you're doing that in your mind. But it's important every now and then to think about it. Why right action is part of the path. To begin with, it grows out of right view and right resolve. You realize that your actions are important in thought and word and deed, and you don't want do anything that's going to be harmful either to yourself or to other people. And these are three of the things that the Buddha singled out as always harmful. And unlike right speech, all three of the forms of wrong action find a place in the 5 precepts, i.e. basic practice for everybody. You don't kill anybody, any animal that you can see or that's big enough for you to see. You don't steal anything. You don't engage in illicit sex, period. Again, these are vows that you take for yourself. And they're right in the sense that they're skillful. If you don't cause harm to yourself, you don't cause harm to other people. They benefit, you benefit, and it makes it a lot easier to meditate. And it cuts off a lot of unskillful thinking when you realize, well, I just can't do that. Can't engage in that kind of action, so why even think about it? That helps put up a wall. Now, many times we think of a wall as a restriction, but here the wall is protection. Because there are lots of easy ways where the mind could start justifying actions of this sort. One of the reasons the precepts are so short and clear-cut is that they're especially important when you start finding reasons that you would want to break them. When your life is in danger, the life of your loved ones is in danger, you have to remind yourself, no killing. Now you can do what you can to stop the danger, short of killing, but no killing. And so on down the line. Because these forms of wrong action are also related to the hindrances. And as the Buddha pointed out, when a hindrance is particularly strong, like the desire to get engaged in sensual desire or sensual passion, or when you're feeling thoughts of ill will, restlessness, and anxiety, you don't recognize the fact that those thoughts are unskillful. That's one of the main problems. and having the precepts remind you, these really are unskillful, no matter what, no matter where. So that stops you short. It's a red flag for you to know, okay, this kind of behavior is out of the question. And at the same time, you can, as with right speech, you can think of right action as guidelines for your meditation. On one level, as I said, it refers to the hindrances. When you think, okay, no killing, that relates directly to the hindrance of ill will. No stealing, no illicit sex, those relate to the, well, depending on your motivation for stealing, it could relate to ill will, it could also relate to sensual desire, your desire to have this or that thing. Or you may steal simply because you're angry at somebody, you want to deprive them of something. Again, ill will. And illicit sex, again, that can be motivated either by ill will or desire. So it focuses on the two big hindrances to remind you that you don't want to go there. Because if you're going to get the mind into good, solid concentration, you have to get beyond, as I said, be secluded from sensual passion, be secluded from unskillful mental qualities. These are two of the big ones. And even further, John Lee takes the teachings on right speech and right action, he makes them more symbolic of other things that go on in the mind when you're meditating as well. Killing, for instance. You don't want to kill your goodness. Where does your goodness come from? Well, it comes from being heedful. As the Buddha said, when you're heedless, it's as if you're dead. You're killing yourself. You're killing the goodness of the mind. If you feel, well, there's nothing much I have to do, everything is perfectly fine as it is, I don't have to work out putting any effort in the path, well, that kills you right there, kills the practice. So you want to make sure you don't kill your practice, you don't want to kill your goodness. You've got to be heedful at all times. Heedfulness means having a strong sense that, okay, what you're doing is important right now. And you don't know how much longer you're going to have to do anything skillful. You've got to develop as many skillful habits as you can, which means you have to do them right now. The Buddha once talked about having the monks develop mindfulness of death as a useful form of meditation, and the different monks talked about how they developed it. Someone said, I think every day, may I live at least one more day so I can practice the Buddha's teachings, and I'll be able to get a lot out of it. Another monk says, well, I think that every half day, may I live another half day, and so on down the line till I got to two monks, one who said, I think may I live to breathe in and out once more. Another monk who said, well, I'm eating, may I breathe long enough to the amount of time it takes to eat a mouthful of food. So in that amount of time, I'll try to do as much skillful practice as I can, and I'll get good results that way. And the Buddha said only those last two monks really count as being heedful. So